Hey you guys, and welcome. I thought I would take you on a tour of my permaculture backyard in Northeast Florida. So I guess I will start on this side of the yard. Over here, outside of the fence, is a raised bed. It's got some kale in there that needs to be watered, but I've got some kale and it'll perk back up once I water it, and some pineapple in the corners there. So this is kind of resting until it gets cooler here. Our growing season is really throughout the winter, but you can do a little bit more with permaculture. I've got a huge delivery of mulch here, a truckload of mulch. This is just part of it. And then the rest of it is way over back there. I've got this avocado tree that I grew from a seed. You can see it is huge now. It's probably been 15 to 20 years I'm actually getting avocados. These are my girls, they're pets. I don't actually eat eggs, so I typically will cook the eggs and give them back to the chickens. But Annie, this gray one, was my very first rescue chicken. A neighbor of mine was needing to relocate about 33 chickens. So at the time, I took about 4 chickens and then relocated the rest of the chickens for him because he was going to just let them loose. This is a passion fruit. And so this vine is going to grow up. I plan to have this grow up along the fence. So it makes this beautiful passion flower and fruit, and it will die back when it gets cold out. And then I've got some beauty berry back here, which is growing just naturally. It gets these beautiful purple berries. This is turmeric. Just turmeric I planted, the root that I got from the grocery store. I'll see if I can find some of the flowers. I don't see any on this plant, but it gets these beautiful flowers. This is a blackberry bush, and then I've got a little one coming up here. More turmeric, and then this is a bunch of milkweed for my monarch butterflies. So monarch butterflies are endangered. So I actually hatched about 10 to 12 monarch butterflies last season. This is called shampoo ginger. So you can see the ginger, when you squeeze it, it makes this beautiful smelling liquid that you can wash your hair. It's kind of soapy. And then I've got some Florida Everglade tomatoes. They make these little tiny delicious tomatoes. So I have those in here that I am growing from seed. And then this is all sweet potato. And the sweet potato leaves are edible. I've got a little fig tree right here. I can't remember what this plant is. Somebody gave me a cutting, but it makes these beautiful orange flowers. I try to intersperse flowers as much as I can just to make it look beautiful. I've got some African blue basil. This bush is looking a little wilty, so luckily I have more elsewhere. And then this big tree right here is called chaya. It's called a spinach tree, and it grows huge like this. So you have to cook it down a little bit, and then you harvest the leaves, and they are super nutrient dense. So I just take cuttings of it and I stick it around. So you can see here, those are some cuttings that I took. So that is this back corner right here. I've got a little fire pit, and then I've got some more Florida Everglade tomatoes. You can probably see, I thought there were a few, oh, here they are on this plant. Right here, that's how big they'll be, tiny, and they're really red and delicious. Over here I have a plant called shiso. It is a type of basil, not particularly fond of it, but it's beautiful. And more milkweed here. And then I just planted some flowers here just to have it be pretty. Some rosemary, purslane, was growing naturally, so I tried to kind of relocate it here, but it's a little dry right now. But edible, super nutrient dense. Oh, here's my African blue basil plant. You can see I kind of just put it in this pot, and I took a cutting of it, and it's just growing like this. I've got yarrow here, which will make beautiful flowers, and it smells so good. And then over here, I have a hibiscus plant that will get really pretty orange flowers. This is a loquat tree, and this is a papaya. So I've got, I don't know if you can see, I've got papayas on it there. And the loquats, they already came in, and the squirrels got pretty much all of them. And this is a guava and a olive tree, which I need to plant somewhere. This is Cuban oregano. It has these beautiful big leaves. And it just, look at this, it just grows. It's growing up the side of the coop. And then this is some more yarrow, and I put these tomato cages here so the chickens would not tear them up. This is ginger. So when you plant ginger, this is what it grows up to look like, and it will also flower. This is a much larger Florida Everglade, and this is a little lemon tree. So I've got some lemons. This is a soap nut tree that I need to find a place to plant. And if it grows up, and it'll create these nuts that you can throw in your wash, and it will kind of act like a soap. So I've got more chaya over here, some in pots. I was gonna give those away. I just put some mulch down, so I don't know if you guys can see all these beds right here in the back right corner, but this is cardamom right here, and this is something called katook. They say it tastes like a cross between peas and peanuts, but it grows, it's really hardy, and it gets these really cool little fruits underneath it, underneath the leaves. And then this is African potato mint. So I've had to manage this back because it spreads like crazy. You can't really eat the leaves, but it makes these beautiful little tiny potatoes that you can harvest. No, you can't see it on that one, but it makes these little tiny potatoes. And when all of this dies back, you can harvest that and eat the little potatoes. This is moringa. So I cut this back. It doesn't like this much shade, but it's hanging in there. This is a coffee plant. So I've got coffee trees. I've got 3 coffee trees. You can see they're starting to produce little coffee beans. This is some more ginger. I love my ginger. I use a ton of ginger. And this is where you can kind of see I was trying to suppress weeds. So what I do is put down cardboard, and then I cover the cardboard with mulch, and the chickens dug all my cardboard or all the mulch up, so I'm gonna have to recover that. But it's a beautiful way to suppress weeds without plastic. This is a spinach plant called Hone Knock, and I don't eat it unless I have to because the leaves are a little bit kind of slimy-ish, but if I had to eat it, I would. I just like the chaya better, or the katook, or the moringa. Man, I wish I could show you a flower. This is more turmeric. It makes these beautiful flowers. I'll have to do another video once the flower comes up. This is a bed. I was just trying to, I put cardboard down and then put mulch in here. So I was just trying to get that to suppress the weeds, and then I'll plant something in there. And you know when you have green onions and you save the root and you can replant the little root? This is a little Florida Bethany. I could take her out. But yeah, this is what happens. So when you replant the root, your green onions will grow back. These are hugicultures or hugicultures. So I dug what would be kind of akin to a grave, 4. So I dug about 3 feet down, and 4 feet wide, and I put logs on the bottom and compost and sticks and leaves and cardboard, and so all of that breaks down and creates soil because we're in a very sandy soil area here in North Florida. So you can see this is really what this quote-unquote soil looks like. So it's not very nutrient dense, but this is an entire bed of ginger, and so this will all grow up. But you can see here's a little bit of the ginger. I don't know if you can see that, but I just harvested. I cut a little piece off. This is my big moringa tree that I did not cut back, and I probably should have because it is huge now. So super nutrient dense, tastes a little bit like arugula. You can cut off the branches and then just stick them in the ground somewhere else, and they will start growing just like this. Stevia plant down here, little stevia, and more turmeric and more katuk. This thing grows like crazy. And then this is called Biden's alba. This grows naturally here. People would consider it a weed. They rip it out, but it's actually, when you make a tincture with it, broad spectrum antibiotic, which I've used to treat urinary tract infections. And in fact, I haven't been getting UTIs anymore since I've been using this instead of going to the doctor and getting a prescription for antibiotics. That is lemongrass. So these, oh my gosh, this thing needs to be trimmed back like crazy. So that's what these look like. But it gets very hot. It's probably around 100 degrees. So all of this is growing in part shade, a little bit of sun, and so you can actually garden in the shade. So yeah, that is my backyard. I hope you guys enjoy this little tour. Of course, when it gets cooler out, it will look totally different. This whole area will be orange flowers. When my nasturtium comes up, it's going to be spectacular. So I hope you enjoy this.